Taylor, what was your interpretation of the sequence that led to your ejection?
I'm not going to make this about me, I'm not going to address that whatsoever. So proud of our group. What an unbelievable victory. Guys out of the lineup, guys stepping up tonight, guys getting opportunities, making the most of it. Proud of Darko and our coaching staff to hold it down. That's Grizzlies basketball. That's what we do. Next man up. So proud of them. What a heck of a game against one of the best teams in the league. Our guys brought it tonight for 48 minutes. They had unbelievable juice in that first quarter. Phoenix raised their physicality. Our guys didn't back down. Great execution down the stretch. Just so proud of the whole entire group.
Talk a lot about connection on offense and defense and those type things. How is this group able to stay connected the way it is with? A lot of these guys didn't play with each other a lot this season. How are they able to do that tonight?
They're connected off the floor. It's as simple as that. Obviously, definitely playing different roles and different lineups tonight. I know I'm a broken record when I say we know our standard. Everyone understands that. Whether it's in play groups, it's G League assignments. Obviously, when we're with the Grizzlies, film sessions, practices, but you can never replace what your bonds are off the floor. How connected they are, how they support each other. You see the guys in street clothes tonight supporting the guys in uniform. That's who we are. I told the team we're deep. They keep telling me that we're a deep team, so they know what we stand for. And when it's our time to go out there and compete, we compete at a high level.
Coach, you talk about, setting your tone early. 17 more shots tonight than the Suns, making them commit 18 turnovers. You set the team set the tone early for Grizzlies basketball. Just what does that say to the depth, especially with as talented as the Suns are, the playoffs being right around the corner, even with the starters out, you're still able to set the tone to where you're in control, and obviously the outcome of the game speaks to that.
Yeah, our MO is being super active, especially on the defensive end. You can definitely set a tone. I thought, first quarter scoring 34 points and then kind of locked up, physicality in the second quarter, which kind of hurt us. But our defensive activity, was phenomenal. Obviously, Paul and Booker, I said it before the game, this is, number one efficient offense for a reason. They orchestrate at such a high level. They get their guys to their spots, whether it's guard play, it's, Ayton in the post. I thought X did a phenomenal job as well, guarding a million pick and rolls out there. Obviously our guards are really good, creating turnovers, like you said, sparking our offense, and we got stagnant. We needed more defensive activity and got that better as the second half unfolded. So, anybody, they know what our standard is. Go out there, be super active, let that fuel our offense, and then we got to have that same activity in the half court where we kept stalling out, but then when we start getting some better ball movement, open shots, you kind of break it open.
Dylan, it looked like was on a mission from the start to make a statement. How did you see your guys sort of just follow his lead there and bring that kind of energy?
Yeah, I thought he was phenomenal. Obviously, Booker's a tough cover, but, the physicality he played with, he led by example, not just through his play, but his voice was phenomenal. I thought for the most part, until, they had, their stretches of the game, especially in that third quarter, second quarter, his voice was carrying our defense. His voice was carrying the offense. Obviously, I wasn't there for a majority of the game, but I understood and I could see, him pulling his teammates together, and that's what you do as a leader. It's not about, hey, just follow me, just get me the ball. Obviously, he was aggressive on the offensive end, 7 assists, phenomenal. Obviously, we needed his scoring, we needed his playmaking too, but his voice carries a lot of weight with our group, and just really proud of his leadership, and that showed out tonight.
Taylor, one quick question before I ask the one I want to get to. When you're back there, are you watching the Bally Sports TV feed or like the in-house feed? How are you watching the game?
Yeah, it was, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like our kind of like TV feed that's like a cross combination.
Gotcha. It's like
you're going to have to ask one of our video guys. Yeah, in-arena feed.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to the Santi Aldama dunk? We saw the whole sidelines. I'm curious, back there alone watching on TV, how did you react to that?
Well, obviously in coach mode, I'm loving the ball movement on the possession, finds an open shooter, and he, pump fakes and drives, and I think I dropped a hell yeah and two-hand slap on the table. When our guys made just winning plays where there was a big stop. Obviously there were some crucial offensive moments there. I was just, patting the table as much as I could, but just trying to stay level-headed as well. But big-time reaction, from our bench, which is awesome to see, because I know how happy they are for one of their own to get an opportunity to make the most of it.
Taylor, when you're playing a bunch of new guys who hadn't played together, defensively is probably the hardest thing to do, but they were able to hold off one of the hottest teams in the league. How were they able to do it down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, discipline. I mean, obviously they made us pay on some crucial. I thought, there was a couple of plays there, where we let our guard down early in possessions. They got some walk-up threes. Booker got to the line, got to the rim, a little bit too much. But they just stay the course. They know to just continue to come together. When they start going to their pick and roll actions, and we started switching a lot more. The execution was phenomenal. We try to make it as hard as possible on Paul. When he was orchestrating out there, and then just guys making rebounds. Just big time 50-50 balls. Late in that fourth quarter, so you just got to scrap, and for us, luckily our chemistry, it's probably a little bit harder to find on the offensive end, especially when we don't have a point guard, but the guys move the ball brilliantly, and then defensively we just talk about just compete. If we make a breakdown, come and save the day. I think one of the best plays of the game was we missed a shot and they got a 2-on-1 and Melt gets that verticality block, and then Santi does the Euro floater and forces them to call a timeout. So plays like that are what decide the game for us.
Taylor, you kind of alluded to right there that without Ja or Tyus, there wasn't a point guard, but y'all still finished with 30 assists tonight. What does that show? That just playmaking isn't restricted to just position, but of how the system is being executed.
I mean, it's who we are. We talk about being unselfish a lot of different ways. One of the most obvious ones is sharing the ball. We missed some opportunities earlier in the game, but then we just kept telling the guys, just those opportunities are going to be there. Just keep sharing it. We got to use the ball movement to break down their physicality. But I've said it all season long. You look at it, obviously John, Tyus, set a standard for us, with how they play unselfishly. But how many nights recently we've had 8, 9, 10 guys all with an assist and 6, 7 guys with more than 2 assists. So they know when we do that, the phrase I keep using, everybody eats. So when we have a night like that where everyone's sharing the ball, everyone gets to eat.
There seemed just from the beginning of the game to be this supreme confidence that the guys you had out there had, even though the Suns have all their starters and have the best record in the league. Where does that come from for the guys that were out there today?
Each individual. I mean, it's their characteristics. These guys are hungry individually, and then when you pull them all together, I mean, it's a hungry group. I think it's an extension of the players. It's the staff, this organization, this city. I mean, we're a hungry, competitive bunch. So I love that they play. I keep talking about the respectable swag. We've got this swag and confidence. But we know when it's money time, we got to go out there and we got to execute and be really disciplined at the same time. But these guys, they just kind of just run with it. It's just organically grown over the 3 years, where that swag is something that's kind of our calling card. But it's done in a respectful but also disciplined way, so that we can go out there and try to win consistently. Yeah.
Like how quickly does that seep into a guy who's not been with you guys for that long?
Day one. What I love about our group is obviously when someone's brought into to the team, you've got coaches reaching out, you got front office execs reaching out, but our players are hitting guys up, right off the bat, showing them who we are, embracing them into our culture, and when they get to be on the court together, or it's in the locker room together, or it's summer league together, whatever it is, it's truly day one that they embrace each other and understand we're a fun group, we're a low ego group, we're a together group, and we want you to be great so that we can be great.
A question, but was that game sort of a tangible example of why team culture matters?
Probably in some respect. I mean, these are definitely culture wins because you're going up against, best team in the league, and guys are going to get different opportunities, and we just play to our standard. We play to who we are, what our identities, all the things that we stand for, all the work that we've put in. That's culture. I get tossed from a game and, it's next man up. Our coaches are rallying and all that stuff. So, our culture is still undefined. We still got a long way to go. It's something that changes, year after year. But I think our guys have understood over 3 years what we stand for. And tonight's a night where you can put your stamp and say this is who we are, and we're going to be here for a really long time. Great, thanks everybody. Yep.